Have you ever walked into a room and felt someone sizing you up before you even spoke? That wasn't paranoia. That was assessment. While most people wait for explanations, there are those who already extracted everything they needed from your entrance alone. There's an underground war happening in every interaction. It's not fought with arguments or clever rebuttals. It's fought with glances that linger too long, shoulders that shift backward, fingers that tap in irregular patterns. These are the tells your conscious mind can't suppress. And those who read them don't need your confession. They already have it. Think about a professional poker player. The cards matter, sure. But what really matters is watching the opponent's breathing change when they draw a strong hand. The slight tension in their jaw when they're bluffing. The stillness that comes right before a big bet. These micro-shifts carry more truth than any verbal declaration ever could. And recognizing them is the difference between winning and losing everything. Here's what nobody tells you. You've been read countless times without realizing it. Job interviews where you thought you performed well, but something invisible disqualified you. First dates where the other person decided within seconds. Negotiations where you lost ground before opening your mouth. Because trained observers don't listen to what you say. They watch what you leak. You believe you're in control of your presentation, but your nervous system has a stronger allegiance to truth than to your intentions. While you carefully construct a diplomatic response, your face has already cycled through 4 conflicting emotions. While you project confidence, your hands retreat into your pockets. While you claim certainty, your eyes dart toward the exit. This isn't mysticism or cold reading tricks. This is applied neuroscience. There are facial muscles that bypass conscious control entirely. They react before you decide to react. And anyone who understands this muscular map has access to information your words will never reveal. It's like having the combination before the vault is even locked. Now flip the script. Imagine becoming unreadable. Imagine controlling every microsignal with surgical precision. That kind of person doesn't play the same game everyone else plays. They operate on a different plane entirely, and you'll never know they're doing it. Are you ready to understand how this invisible language actually works? Because once you learn to see it, you can't unsee it. How your face betrays you before your mind catches up. The human face contains 43 distinct muscles. Most of them you've never consciously activated, but all of them communicate. And some communicate so fast your awareness can't keep pace. Micro-expressions flash across the face in less than a second, sometimes a fifth of a second, just long enough to reveal anger, fear, disgust, contempt. Not long enough for you to mask it. This microscopic window is where truth escapes, and it's precisely why so few people catch them. Most blink and miss the entire broadcast. There's a reason professional interrogators record sessions and review them in slow motion. They understand the human eye can't process everything in real time, but the brain registers it anyway. You might not consciously know what you saw, but something deeper noticed. That gut feeling that something's off isn't mystical intuition. It's your subconscious processing signals. Your conscious mind dismissed. Imagine someone tells you they're excited about a promotion. The smile forms. The words sound right. But for a split second before that smile completes, you catch something else. Maybe a tightening around the mouth. Maybe a barely perceptible furrow between the eyebrows. That's fear or sadness bleeding through. And when you learn to spot that bleed, entire conversations change meaning. Every emotion has a facial signature. Disgust wrinkles the nose. Anger hardens the jawline. Surprise raises both eyebrows symmetrically. Fear widens the eyes without blinking. Contempt pulls one corner of the mouth upward. These are universal responses, hardwired before culture taught you to lie, which is exactly why they're impossible to fake perfectly. You can manufacture a smile, but you can't voluntarily contract the orbicularis oculi muscle that engages around the eyes during genuine pleasure. You can force a neutral expression, but you can't prevent your nostrils from flaring microscopically when you feel revulsion. These details are invisible to untrained observers, but they're screaming to trained ones. There's a hierarchy of control. You control your words well. You control your major facial expressions reasonably well. You control your body language poorly. And you don't control micro-expressions at all. They're direct leaks from the autonomic nervous system. No filter, no editing, No time to adjust. And here's the critical point. You don't need expert-level training to start noticing. You just need to stop listening so much and start watching more. Because while the mouth lies with ease, the face betrays with frequency. And once you learn to read that betrayal, nobody can deceive you completely again. What did you reveal today without meaning to? Why? The body always tells a different story. Words are cheap currency. Posture is expensive. You can rehearse a pitch for hours. But if your shoulders are collapsed and your arms are crossed defensively, the real message comes through loud and clear, and everyone around you receives it, even if they can't articulate why. The body doesn't lie because it was never trained to. From childhood, you were taught to select appropriate words, smile at the right moments, say, please, and thank you. Nobody taught your body to lie coherently, so it broadcasts information constantly. And those who can decode that broadcast have a brutal strategic advantage. Watch any high-stakes negotiation. The speaker might project verbal confidence, but if they lean backward while presenting their offer, the body is saying, I don't believe this myself. If they repeatedly touch their neck, they're uncertain. If they hide their hands below the table, they're concealing something. These signals aren't random. They're automatic responses from a nervous system trying to manage emotional states the conscious mind attempts to suppress. Then there's the matter of space. Proxemics. Those who move closer demonstrate intimacy or intimidation. Those who retreat demonstrate fear or respect. The distance between bodies reveals hierarchy, trust, threat. And all of this happens without a single word. You feel when someone invades your personal space. You feel when someone withdraws. And these feelings determine power dynamics in every interaction. Now, here's the fascinating part. When verbal and nonverbal messages conflict, the body always wins. Always. If someone says, I'm comfortable with this, while crossing their arms and breaking eye contact, nobody believes the words. Because the human brain evolved to trust what it sees over what it hears. After all, lying with words has been easy for millennia. Lying with the entire body is still difficult. You can test this right now. Try saying I love this idea while shaking your head. No, impossible to appear genuine. The body always exposes the incongruence. And this is exactly why politicians, trial lawyers, and professional salespeople train body language as intensely as rhetoric. Because they know the body can demolish the most carefully constructed message in 2 seconds. But here's the secret most people miss. You can weaponize this understanding, not just by reading others, but by controlling what you emit. Because if you master your own nonverbal communication, you become unreadable. And whoever is unreadable is unpredictable. And whoever is unpredictable holds power. If this video is making sense so far, drop a like. And write the word mastery in the comments. If you've ever caught someone lying just by watching their body, I want to know how many of you have experienced this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the moment. Because what comes next will fundamentally change how you perceive every conversation. How do you read someone who learned to control every gesture? Why? The voice reveals what the mouth hides. The voice is the final betrayer. You can discipline your face. You can adjust your posture. You can select perfect words. But the voice gives everything away. Tone, rhythm, pauses, volume. Every variation is a signal. And those who know how to listen hear far more than language. We're not talking about what's said. We're talking about how it's said. A half-second hesitation before answering can mean the response was manufactured. A sudden increase in speaking speed can indicate anxiety. A drop in volume can reveal shame or fear. These are the hot spots of communication, and they never lie. Research confirms it. When someone is about to lie, the voice changes. Pitch rises slightly. Breathing accelerates. Pauses become irregular. This happens because the brain works harder to construct false narratives than to recall actual events, and that extra cognitive load bleeds into vocal production. Now think about a CEO addressing a scandal. Watch how they speak. If they respond too quickly, it's rehearsed. If they delay too long, they're calculating. If they raise their voice without apparent provocation, they're defensive. If they speak too softly, they're forcing sincerity. Every vocal choice is a strategic choice, and every choice reveals something. You can train this yourself. Record your own conversations. Play them back without focusing on the words. Listen to the rhythm, the gaps, the energy shifts. You'll be shocked by how often your own voice betrayed you. How many times you said, "I'm fine," with a tone that screamed otherwise. How many times you stated something with rising inflection at the end, transforming certainty into doubt. And there's more. Silences speak too. A comfortable silence differs from a tense one. A reflective silence differs from an evasive one. Learning to distinguish these silences is learning to read what wasn't said. And what isn't said always carries more weight than what is. So when you combine everything, facial micro-expressions, body language, vocal variations, you're not guessing at intentions anymore. You're reading them. An accurate reading is strategic power, because you move before the other person finishes formulating their play. You anticipate, you position, you control. But remember, this skill can be used against you too. If you don't master your own signals, you're vulnerable. And vulnerability in high-pressure environments is an invitation to defeat. Are you ready to integrate all of this and use it ethically, but ruthlessly? How to master the invisible language and never be read again. Now you know. Micro-expressions expose emotions. Bodies reveal intentions. Voices betray fabrications. But knowing isn't enough. You need integration, because the invisible language only works when you read all layers simultaneously. And that demands training, silent observation, mental discipline. Start small. Watch interviews, debates, depositions. Mute the audio. Observe only the bodies. Then unmute and close your eyes. Listen only to the voices. Then combine both. You'll notice how many contradictions exist between what people say and what they actually communicate. And when you recognize this pattern repeatedly, it becomes automatic. It becomes trained instinct. But here's the ultimate challenge. How do you protect yourself from being read? Because if you're learning to read others, you can bet someone already knows how to read you. And if you don't control your own signals, you're playing defense with no shields. The solution isn't pretending. Pretending exhausts you. Pretending fails eventually. The solution is genuine control. Deep emotional regulation. If you don't feel the emotion, the body has nothing to betray. If you truly believe what you're saying, the voice doesn't waver. If you're genuinely comfortable with silence, nobody detects tension. This is the highest level. Not hiding, having nothing to hide. Ancient samurai practiced something similar. Absolute mental discipline, so the face remained neutral even when facing death. It wasn't repression. It was profound acceptance, applied stoicism. And this made these warriors impossible to intimidate, because there was no emotional opening to exploit. You can apply all of this in job interviews, negotiations, difficult conversations, any environment where psychological power determines outcomes. But use it responsibly, because manipulation without ethics is a short path to isolation, and isolation is long-term defeat. The practical action you should implement today: record yourself in conversation, any conversation, watch it without sound, observe your own body, then listen without video, observe your own voice. You'll discover things about yourself you never noticed. And that's the first step toward real mastery. If this content made a difference for you, like, subscribe, and write stillness in the comments. If you understood that true strength never needs to shout, and share this with someone who needs to learn the invisible game. Use the word edge when you share it. I want to know how many of you will actually apply this. Are you ready to see what nobody else sees?